Holy guacamole, everybody. We've got Andrew Rodriguez from the Rippaverse in the house here today. We're going to have a great time talking about what projects are happening, what he's involved with, who he is, where he comes from, and probably even what he's drinking right now. I'm just saying. So anyway, we're here today. We're going to have a great time tonight here on the Creator's Corner of Two Geeks and a Microphone. All right.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
I will talk first, everybody. Good evening. Usually I say good morning to everybody, but good evening, everybody, to our show, Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, again, the most beardiest guy I know, but why he's wearing a Dallas Cowboys hat, I have no idea.
Hey,
Mr.
now.
Michael Shanks.
Hey, now, don't be hating on the boys.
You'll lose a few points there.
Not with your boss.
I have loyalty to Eric when it comes to the Rippaverse, when it comes to him being the guy who signs my checks, when it comes to being a friend. However, his taste in sports teams leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, I've seen him wearing a Cowboys hat, and I'm very happy that he is a fellow Cowboys fan. So
that's all. Well, Mike, do you want to introduce our wonderful, most awesomest guest that we have this evening?
So we have Mr. Andrew Rodriguez, who is the creative manager for the Rippaverse. He also might have the best hair in the comic book industry.
I'm just saying, looks good.
I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate you. However, I have to give that title to our lead illustrator and one of our art editors, Igor. He has the best hair in comics.
Oh.
He's got these luscious long locks. It's like he looks like he walked out of like a L'Oreal commercial from the early 2000s.
Wait a minute. Well, I'm gonna cheat here for a second.
Anybody named Igor.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome to begin with. So
here, I'll bring it up on the screen. I've got to add yeah.
Oh, nice.
Here,
okay.
I'm going to add you here too real quick. I'm going to make sure you're in the shot. So yeah, boy, those are some long locks. I'm just saying.
It's true. All the ladies at the Rippaverse take tips from him.
So all the women want to be with him, and all the guys want to be him, right?
You know, I am not a morning person. I don't like taking forever to get ready. I had longer hair once back when I was in high school. I'm good.
I did too. So did I.
I had it down to about my shoulders.
Yeah.
I think at its longest my senior year, and I was like, yeah, you know what? This is just kind of a pain in the butt. I'm good without it. It's nice. Going away now.
So I rocked the mullet all through high school, and then I worked for Red Lobster, and Red Lobster had a rule that your hair couldn't touch your collar. So, and of course, my hair got down below my collar, and my boss came to me and said, Mike, you got to get your hair cut. I was like, fine, whatever. So I went and got it cut, and I literally shaved everything and then spiked it. And my hair has remained that. Although right now I need a haircut bad.
But you still have it.
Yes, sir. I do.
So, that's a good problem to have. I'm going to be happy to have that problem for as long as I can have that problem.
Easy, because I'm feeling it right now. So I'm just saying. Well, Andrew, for those who may not know who you are, tell us a little about you and what it is that you do and who you're with.
Well, there's a lot to unpack with that, but I guess the basic bare bones version of it is that I am the creative manager and one of the lead editors over at the Rippaverse. I manage our creative teams from day-to-day basis. So slander Igor.
Igor.
Igor's great. I love him. Love you, brother. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. You and your long, luscious locks. I manage our creative teams. So that includes our artists. That includes working alongside a lot of our writers. That includes, he definitely has legendary status here. There's no question about that. I work with our video asset team and work in close concert with them as well. And then on the editorial side, depending on the project, so it changes from project to project. Some projects, Caro is lead editor. Some projects, the Soskas are lead editor. Some projects, I'm lead editor. And so depending on which of those categories I fall into, I'm approving pages that are being turned in, going back and forth with the writers as those are being turned in, making sure they're happy with what they're seeing on the page to represent the visual aspect of the work and the world that they're creating, as well as doing line edits on scripts, things like that. As well as on the social media side, which is what I've actually been doing the longest for Eric, because I didn't start with the Rippaverse. I started before the Rippaverse. So I'd actually been doing part-time social media management and YouTube content curation for Eric we launched the Rippaverse July 2022. I believe I started doing the social media stuff for his personal platforms.
Okay.
Around November of 2021. So I'd been doing it for, several months. And he was telling me, I'm going to be launching the comic book company. And I was aware that he was doing this because I'd been following Eric on YouTube for quite some time. I've been following him since probably about 2017, 2018. He was the first comic book YouTuber that I actually followed after a bit of a hiatus in comics, and I was just getting back into mainstream comics at the time. And I was kind of scratching my head, and I was like, man, am I just old now? Something, I'm kind of I feel like I'm missing something. Am I old? Am I crazy? What is it? And some of it, because there were some books that were coming out that I was like, wow, I really dig this. And then there were others that were coming out, and I was like, what happened? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And he was the first channel that I found. And, he started talking and saying a lot of stuff that he was saying about comics, some positive stuff, and then some critiques, legitimate critiques. And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy, or I'm not alone. And that's fine too. We can both be crazy. I'm good with that. And that's just kind of how that fell into play. But I was doing social media management with him for a little while, and I knew the Rippaverse was coming. He said, hey, get ready, depending on, how this thing goes. It's possible that this part-time side gig that you have here, because I was working retail management at the time. Don't get me started on that.
Oh, I feel your pain, man.
I was stuck in that. I was stuck in that mire and that muck for well over a decade.
You are free. You are now free.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Genuinely. But he was like, depending on how this goes, this could turn into a full-time gig. I'm like, okay, awesome, great. And not 24 hours after we launched ISOM 1, and the thing was obviously doing crazy numbers because it took 30 hours to hit $1 million. And he messages me, and we appreciate you. Thank you for helping me get out of retail. I appreciate you. I will credit a lot of that to you then. The two of you combined helped me greatly. You have no idea.
And I'm waiting for 2 more books. So
excellent. And he messages me and he's like, hey, remember that time we talked about, I might need you full time, depending on how this goes. Like, yeah, I remember that. He's like, the time's now. I was like, oh, okay, great. I was ecstatic, and I was like, so when do we start? What do we do? He's like, well, I mean, you need to give your job a 2 weeks notice, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Eric, they treat me like crap. I'm constantly understaffed. I am constantly having to do the job of 7 people. And other people are calling out and constantly making that even more that I'm having to do. Yeah. You know what they'll get? They'll get I will show up when I show up tomorrow, and I will hand them my resignation in person. I won't be a no-call, no-show. I'm not that guy. But I will go into the office and be like, guys, thank you. Adios.
I never understood how come we have to give a notice when we're going to quit, but they don't have to give us notice that they're going to fire us.
Oh, not at all. Yeah,
right?
No.
Right. Where's that notice, man?
Not a two-way street to them, apparently.
Right. I just wanted to say shout out to the Soska twins. Thank you for subscribing.
Now,
and
time out. I have to ask, how do you? I've heard it pronounced several different ways, their last name, and I want to get it right. Is that the way?
Good prefaces.
Andrew, what's the correct way to pronounce their last name?
Pray to God they don't kill me here. It's Soska.
It's Soska.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Soska, not Soska. Okay. But ladies, I know you're in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll buy you a drink, I guess, next time if I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say the twins have an open invitation to be on the show anytime they want. I've been trying to get
excellent.
to them.
We're crazy. We're crazy. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here they're in the house.
I was correct.
Yes.
All right. I don't get yelled at. I don't have to buy anybody a drink. I'd do it anyway, but you know.
Yeah, you should buy them a drink anyway.
Here goes. Here
They're
they say.
good people. They're good people.
Andrew is right as always. Saska as in Saska.
Sauce.
Great.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
we love your guys' work, and we also want to be we also just want to honor you guys and make sure we're pronouncing your names right. So please correct us when we're wrong.
And it looks like we got Caro in the chat too.
Arrow. She likes the Sonic comics in the background. Yeah, Sonic comics were actually the comics I started reading before I ever read superhero comics. I actually own every issue in the Archie Sonic comics run, including issue 0. That was actually a gift to me from my dad. I forget how old I was, but it was a Christmas gift, and it was a sealed copy of that. And that's like the gem, crown jewel of my Sonic comic collection.
Well,
I love it.
I do want to get to Sonic because I just learned that Sonic has a tie to the Rippaverse's new character. So
quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit.
So I definitely want to talk about that too.
Real quick, let's do this. They say, love the Sonic comics, so darn good. Also, this is a great opportunity to introduce something that we do here on the show. We need to drink to Blue Shift. Because why? Because Blue Shift is going to be much more better than any speedster out there. I'm just saying. Let's
All right.
Cheers,
I'm going to do my
everybody.
best. Cheers to y'all.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to start off with your inspiration for Blue Shift. Where does your inspiration for the speedster come from? I think I know, but I'm going to
quite
let
a few actually. Blue Shift. So Zephyr Arland is the name, the actual given name of the character. Blue Shift being the hero name. However, he is kind of a love letter to the speedster archetype as a whole. So there are
Mike's happy.
Yes,
He loves them speedsters. I'm just saying.
There are people who will, I think, very reasonably draw some comparisons to certain members of the Flash family. But that actually starts and stops with Kid Flash's half cowl. A lot of people might not realize this. Yes, Wally West Flash, who was the first Kid Flash, is a redhead. However, he is a traditional redhead in that he is a ginger, right?
Correct.
He's got when he is drawn correctly, he's got the freckles. And when he's colored correctly, he's got the more reddish, bright orange hair, right? Of your traditional ginger. Zephyr, however, you will notice, has very vibrant, bright, flashy red hair.
Yes, he does.
His hair color is closer to the Flash's costume than it is to Wally West's hair color. And the reason for that is actually Velocity, the speedster over at Image, who is part of the Cyberforce team. His eyes are not the same kind of like light green that Wally West's are. They're actually the bright emerald green that Sonic's are.
Okay.
There are little what I did. Now, I am not an artist, and I almost considered showing the Andrew sketch just now, but I am not an artist.
Do it. Come on. We tried to get Eric to show his first sketch, and he wouldn't.
I don't think even his own wife has seen the Eric sketch, to be honest. I think it is literally only Eric and Marcos who have seen the Eric sketch. Our concept
I want to
artist
see
Marcos
that sketch. I want to see
I do
it.
too. I'm like, Eric, just like, come on, give it to us. Let's do a celebration. Let's do a collection that's like the whole ill-advised art and launch that. Put it on a freaking t-shirt or something. Come on, give the people what they want.
Jen and Sylvie say show it.
Of course they do. But there is, what I did when I was trying to design it is that I wanted the sleek speedster aesthetic, which is considered kind of concomitant with speedsters, right? You want something that makes sense that they're moving fast, makes sense that they have plenty of range of motion, much like you would think of like a track run, right? You don't want stuff that gives you drag, anything like that. So I took that basic silhouette, but then I was like, okay, I want to do something unique with the actual patterning, with the design. There were certain things like the cowl for me. The cowl, there's actually a story behind the cowl. The reason why he has a half cowl is because what people will come to learn, should I get greenlit to be able to write more Blue Shift in the future, should the fans actually respond positively to it when they actually read it. Thank you, everybody that's been supporting the collection. Genuinely, we're over 1,100 books sold right now on it. We're creeping up on 30K. Like, that's an immense blessing. But let us know what you think when you actually read it, because that'll have a lot more weight as well. But the reason why he has that is because there's freedom that he finds in his abilities. And I think weighing down yourself and covering up too much is kind of antithetical to that theme in terms of like his character and his personality. And there are reasons for that as well that people will learn as I get to tell more stories, should I get to. But I wanted to have something that felt familiar, but different. I wanted something that felt like, okay, that looks like a proper speedster, right? And obviously, like Kanan and Marcos, they're actual artists, and so they looked at my sketch and they're, okay, buddy, like we'll get you there. And so they made it look good, right? I created the character, sure, but the artists do all the work. My interior artist for the short story, Edu Souza, he did a wonderful job bringing the youthfulness and the brightness and the hopefulness to the characters that are in that script. And Andrew Kramer, who did the colors on it, he understood the assignment. And I said, I do not want to see flat colors on this. I will be very upset. And he gave me nice, bright, vibrant colors, because that was something that the Rippaverse needed in my mind. We have a lot of these very morally complex characters like Isom. We have some morally gray characters. We have, your brutal, street level vigilante characters that I don't think you could have anybody better writing a character like that than Chuck Dixon, because he kind of wrote like the best runs on that type of archetype over at both Marvel and DC, right? And Punisher and Batman, like the whole Batman family. And so I wanted to insert some brightness, some vibrancy, something where if I had a preteen or a younger teen, I could hand this to them and be like, have fun, right?
Nice.
Nice. Rather than being like, do I want to give my 13-year-old horseman right now?
Right.
Maybe not. Like, I was reading Witchblade and Darkness when I was 13, but my mom didn't know about it.
Right.
So I don't necessarily get to claim moral authority on that one, but we have all these wonderful characters that really build out our universe in a beautiful way, but a lot of them exist in a much more mature, dark space. Like, I wouldn't be giving Bloodruth to a 13-year-old, but once they're maybe in their older teens, I'd be like, check this out.
So what you're saying is Blue Shift is the gateway drug to the others.
That I love that you use that word, not because you said drug. To be clear, the hardest thing I've ever taken was a maximum strength Tylenol, and that was pretty wild. But
oh my gosh!
But the fact of the matter is, every comic book fan, at least in my experience that I've come across, whether they're a Marvel fan or a DC fan or both, whatever it is, there was that gateway drug character. There was that gateway drug book, right? For me, for Marvel, it was Spider-Man. For DC, it was Flash and Superman, because my first two superhero comics were Flash Zero and Man of Steel Zero. And so, those were my introduction into those worlds, and those were what I predominantly followed for a while. And then I was like, well, I like these characters. I like this world. What else is in this world? So then you branch out, right? And then you start falling in love with all these other characters as well. And that's what I wanted to be able to provide for newer readers who maybe needed something a little more poppy, right? A little more flashy, for lack of a better term.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No need to pardon it. It's entirely deliberate. I'm insufferable with them. I know what I am. There's no off switch. It's fine.
I'm still trying to get over the fact that the gateway drug into Rippaverse is speed. So
that makes it all the better, or worse. I don't know. Hopefully better.
Much more better.
Much more better.
Just went up
Cheers.
better. Cheers,
All right,
everybody.
sip number 2. That's number 2. You guys need
Yep.
like a digital counter that you can like just hit a button on
What a
your
great
screen each time you
We
do
idea.
that.
should do that.
That's a great idea. I love that. Thank you.
Oh, and my mug is for the twins.
Halloween 2. Very nice. Very
I
nice.
think the twins will
They'll
like
love that. I haven't seen it. I've only seen the first Halloween. I'm
What?
not a horror. Yeah. Trust me, I know. I work with the Saskas on a daily basis, and they hound me on a daily basis. Why have you not watched these horror movies yet? Because I'm not a horror guy. I've seen the classics. You know, I've seen the first Friday the 13th. So I've actually never watched Friday the 13th with Jason as the villain.
Right. I hate Friday the 13th. Sorry.
That's not fair enough. Seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Seen The Thing. I've seen the first Halloween and some others, but like in general, like I have not watched the vast majority of the horror films out there.
Well, they say every day is one day closer to Halloween.
Oh, Steven, we got to get the Saska sisters on for Halloween.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'd love that.
That would be so much fun.
Andrew, they say you've got to watch Jacob's Ladder. It's next on your list. Now, my
they
question
have
is
told me that.
Which Jacob's Ladder? That's my question.
I don't remember if they told me to watch the original or the remake. Whatever one it was, they told me avoid the other one. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
I just do what I'm told.
There you go. Halloween 2 is a banger.
Real quick, let's give a shout out to Sam. Sam is
hey Sam. It's morning time for him.
It is morning time for him. We're not used to seeing him in the evening. He's usually his late night and early morning for us on Saturday morning. So great to have you,
Sam. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. And then they said the original Jacob's Ladder. Okay. Yes, I have seen that one actually. So if you haven't seen it, it was a good twist at the end for me. I love good twists at the end, kind of a thing. So
my Halloween picks are the original, of course, then Halloween 2, and then I would go the new first Halloween, the first of the new ones. After the first one, it kind of goes downhill. Evil dies tonight. Stop saying that.
Right. We talked about making that a drinking game, and we said we'd go to the hospital for.
Yeah, you die of alcohol poisoning.
Real quick too.
But I'm not saying they're not worth watching. I'm just saying it just kind of goes downhill.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of sequels end up being that way, really.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, when we saw the ad that hit for Blue Shift in the real quick animation, Mike was all over it. He was like, oh man, there's a speedster. There's finally a speedster.
And voiced by one of the longtime voice actors of Sonic the Hedgehog, actually.
And that's what I was hitting at earlier.
What? Yeah, Mike was saying we're going to save it for the podcast and stuff. So, really?
Yeah. So, Jason Griffith was the voice actor for Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog in both the animation and games for the better part of a decade, until like Sega, I forget what it was called at the time, but basically their Western studios and how they handle all their localization and casting and all that said, we're just revamping all of the castings from the ground up, except for Eggman, Dr. Robotnik. They kept him, and then everybody else got like, all right, well, thank you, best of luck in your future endeavors and all that. Which is unfortunate because he's still to this day my favorite, because I grew up with him for the vast majority of the games that I was playing at the time, because they were my more formative years. But having him on board for that trailer, having the voice of Sonic, voicing my my
is that like a dream come true?
Yes and no. So no, because it's not something I ever could have even like conceived of in my brain initially until it kind of just happened. And I'm so immensely blessed that we were able to make that that work, because I think that's like one of the coolest parts about this project. Like, if people read the book and they were like, for those of you who may not know, I write these little 1-page comic strips in all of our RippaZines, the bird's eye view. And it's just like little tongue in cheek. It's literally nothing special. All I want people to do is like walk away from that page as they're turning it with a little chuckle and be like, that Andrew guy's goofy. And that's it. Like, that's all I need out of it. That's literally all I need out of it. If you roll your eyes and you smile as you turn that page, cool. Big win as far as I'm concerned. But where I'm going with that is that, like, if after people read this, they're like, yeah, we want more Blue Shift and more other things, from you. Like, what else you got rattling around in the little brain of yours? And or alternatively, they're going to be like, stick with the pigeons, buddy. Like, it's okay. Like,
yeah.
Well, I didn't realize. I was watching you guys' live stream from a couple days ago. I was watching it an hour before we came on. And I didn't realize that both you and Caro actually are doing some writing. Yeah, well, I mean, I now know you're doing the writing because you did the Blue Shift, but I didn't realize that Caro was doing writing too. So, man, Eric's like, he's putting all you guys to work, isn't he?
It's that, but it's a really encouraging environment, because I think Eric correctly assessed the landscape. And while there are all of these major names like in the industry, and those that we're working with on our end here at the Rippaverse, guys like Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron's written for us, the Saskas are writing for us. But obviously in the rest of the industry, you got guys like Peter J. Tomasi and Tinian the Fourth and Jeff Johns and things like that. And you got it's those guys are only going to be around for so long, right? You need to have fresh blood at some point. And if you don't, you run the risk that, like a sports team would, if they're not training up the people that are on the bench, right? It's like, okay, the people on the bench need to be ready to actually play, right? And the only way to do that is to start doing it. And so he is making a space for a lot of us, younger and newer writers to comics to do that. And, Caro has Dirty Deeds. She did the short story in the third RippaZine, and now I'm blessed with the opportunity to tell mine in RippaZine 5.
Yeah,
I missed RippaZine 3 and 4.
No, we're actually running really low on 4, and then 3. I don't know if we're super low on the collector's edition, but I would jump in on those. I don't know, maybe order Zine 5 and then toss 3 and 4 in there with them.
I'm making a note right now.
Shameless self-promotion.
I'm definitely ordering 5 because I want that first appearance of Blue Shift. So I got to get that. That's for sure.
Oh,
and then you got me wanting the T-shirt. I'm wanting the poster.
That T-shirt is so awesome. When Kanan first, and Kanan doesn't, I don't think, have the ability to put out a bad piece. I think he just doesn't know what that means. So when he showed off the T-shirt design initially, and I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna scream. That looks amazing. And then with the poster is especially incredible to me, because that poster is colored by my all-time favorite comic book colorist, Andrew Dahlhaus.
Nice.
So there are 3 Andrews involved in some form or fashion.
Oh, really?
With this project. I'm Andrew Rodriguez. I'm the creator and writer of Blue Shift. Andrew Kramer is the interior colorist for the short story, and then Andrew Dahlhaus colored the poster. So it's funny. We're like the triple A team.
Andrew to the power of 3.
I'm here with it. I'm here for it. Andrew cubed.
Andrew cubed. I like it.
Yeah.
Hashtag Andrew cubed.
I'll take
so here's the let me hit the here's the poster.
It's a gorgeous poster. I love it.
So we talk a lot in comics about trying to avoid self-inserts. However, the one self-insert thing that I had to do with this suit design was I absolutely love the color combination of white and gold. And so I was like, I am making this hero's super suit white and gold if it kills me.
Nice.
Well, it looks great. I think you made great choices on the design. It looks fantastic.
Thank you. That means a lot to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's coming from a big Flash fan too. I've grown up reading the first comic book I remember buying would be the New Teen Titans #1 by Marv Wolfman.
Wow,
And,
Wolf. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And
I'm kind of jealous you got to read that when it came out.
I have fond memories.
That's my favorite team makeup of the Teen Titans.
You and me both. I always say
It
that's
doesn't get better than
my
that.
Team Titan. My Teen
Yeah.
Titans.
It does not get better than that team.
You're right.
makeup.
You're right. My daughter is a huge fan of the cartoon. You know, not the what's the second?
The Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, not the Go, but
the one that came before that in the early 2000s. Yeah,
right. She's a huge fan of that, and she was little, you know, when that came out. So we kind of bonded over that. It's funny, we bonded over Powerpuff Girls and Teen Titans. So, but yeah, we bonded over that, and I always thought it was cool that my daughter was such a big fan of the Teen Titans, and then that's what I grew up on as a young teenager, you know. So
they passed along some good taste then.
Yes. So yeah, that was my first comic that I remember buying, and I have fond memories of sitting on my grandmother's porch just reading that book over and over again, just because I loved it so much.
That's a wonderful memory, man.
Yeah. And then I did collect like the first 2 or 3 years of the Flash when Wally West becomes the Flash, when he officially
after Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Correct. After
Mike
Crisis.
Baron and Messenger Loebs.
Yes. This
one.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly it. Oh man,
what?
Nice.
Yeah, that's the trade collected version that I got Mike Baron to sign my copy.
Oh,
for.
so
Nice.
Cool.
I mean, I had like coworker privilege at the time, so you know.
Yeah.
he was with us at a convention at the time. I think it was in Denver? Yeah, I want to say it was in Denver. Well, it was either
where
Denver
you lost your voice in Denver?
Yeah, yeah. It was either.
Was that when you had COVID?
No, that was back in 2021.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, so it was either that or it was at last year's Space Con that I got him to sign that for me, and I was pretty jazzed.
Cool. Yeah, I was trying to see when I was watching the live stream earlier. I'm squinting, going, "Is that the Flash? I think that's the Flash."
Yeah, so I can move my my microphone out of the way here. So I've got the Baron run. I've also got some of the old trades. So
nice.
Like the old Born to Run trade.
Oh, cool.
This one, which is my favorite one, because Terminal Velocity is the greatest Flash arc of all time, in my opinion. And then I've got Race Against Time here as well. But yeah, I've also got all of the omnibus trades for the Mark Waid run, including the one that drives my OCD up the wall because it's the only one whose spine doesn't match. And that's the one volume that's the Grant Morrison and Mark Miller brief run that they had in between Wade's runs before Jeff Johns took over. It bugs me because chronologically, it splits between 6 and 7, but it doesn't match the rest of them in the row. So it makes me want to flip my desk.
Now, I got to say, to me, the best Flash arc is Flashpoint. I love Flashpoint.
Oh, you love Flashpoint. I mean,
yes.
Flashpoint's great. It's written by Jeff Johns. It's hard to go wrong. And, you know, the art is just absolutely beautiful. I've got do I have the hardcover? I don't have the hardcover here.
Well, of course, we get this Batman in Flashpoint.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. There's going to be a lot of me reaching over to my shelf, I have a feeling, throughout the course of the show.
There's
it's like,
nothing wrong with that.
We're talking about right now. I happen to have it right on here.
Right. Well, Andrew, I think it's really cool, though, but you are a comic books fan. So, I mean, you get the world, you get the, you know, what it means to be a fan, but also taking that, it sounds like even with what you're doing with Blue Shift as well. Mm-hmm. And what's been like your biggest excitement about, you know, getting to launch your own book?
So the fact that people are even taking a chance on it just blows me away. But the biggest excitement about it is that I get to showcase whether or not I actually have paid attention. not just to all of these decades that I've spent collecting and reading comic books, especially Flash comic books, as well as, Quicksilver and a lot of the team ups he's had with Wanda and with the Avengers and things like that, but also all my Sonic comics, and also just looking at the landscape of comics in general as they are, but also have I been paying attention to what we're doing here at the Rippaverse, right? Have I, as the creative manager, I have unique access to a lot of things. And so I have foresight into what stories are being told down the line. I know the deeper intricacies of our world, unlike many other people would. And so that's what's interesting to me. What's exciting to me is the challenge of that, because the challenge is I have all of the tools. I grew up with the tools. I consider myself pretty well read when it comes to comic books, at least in terms of the characters and whatnot that I actually follow and care about. I'm not like Eric was. Like when Eric was still buying Marvel and DC, he was just like everything that was on the shelf that came out that week, he's getting. I'm like, I'm walking out with like 12 books each week, right? Like I'm not walking out with a stack like this every week. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I had my characters that that drew me into them, and so can I actually build something when I have all of the tools at my disposal, or can I not? Because at that point, it's all right. So are you cut out for this, or are you not? Can you do it when you have no excuse? You can't say, "Oh, I didn't know this, that, or another thing," or I didn't have access to this, or what have you. It's you had everything at your fingertips. Did you score or did you fumble?
Nice.
And so that the challenge there, it's slightly anxiety inducing, but I also like the challenge.
So, is there anything that you can tell us that is unique about Blue Shift? I know
no spoilers.
You careful, you can't give spoilers.
We don't
away, but what is something unique about him that's different from the other speedsters in the other universes?
or do we have to buy it to find out?
No, I won't give you specifics, but I'll give you this. So it is something within the Rippaverse specifically that we're trying to do, and to varying degrees with every single character, but that if a character has a power set that has the potential to be extremely powerful, there needs to be a equivalent negative effect to that. They need to have some sort of a weakness that counterbalances that.
Yeah.
Right.
Is kryptonite per se.
But it not be so, I guess, kryptonite's its own conversation, and I love Superman, but it being far less convenient than kryptonite.
Sure.
That Robert just so happened to have some kryptonite knuckle dusters on him, right? And it's like, well, sucks to be you today, Soups. I wanted to have.
I was just using that as an example.
Absolutely.
That's a good one, though.
he has a negative effect to his powers, and in fact, it's a dramatic one. And it plays into precisely why, for those who watched the trailer, it plays into precisely why he's never been allowed to attend a normal school before now.
Yeah. We were talking about bringing up the trailer. It's probably a good segue to bring up the trailer.
Yeah, by all means.
We're going to see if this works, because sometimes my internet's not so great, but we got this. We got this. So, all right, let me go back to here real quick.
I believe in you. Maximum effort.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Oh, yep, this should work.
My name is Zephyr Arlen, and I'm doing something stupid. My family, we've got a secret, and I've never been allowed to attend normal school before now because of it. Mom and Dad say high school can be a bit of a culture shock, but how bad can it really be? After all, getting up to speed is something I do best. I know they're worried, but I can be careful. Only time will tell if this is the worst idea ever. Oh, sparks and bolts! Or the very best idea ever. I can't help but wonder, though, can I be something more? I guess we can give this a tryout.
Nice.
Very nice.
We're struggling because we're like, we won it all.
I want it all, but my wife don't want me to spend that much money.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my goodness.
I almost got in trouble when I bought the foil cover of Bloodruth because she didn't know I ordered it, and I said it on the podcast. I was like, "Oh yeah, I bought my first foil cover from Rippaverse," and Steven's like, "What'd you spend on that? $50."
And she's like, "I'm sorry, what now?"
Yes, she did. It went up in the chat.
Yeah.
I was like,
she was
I'm in
watching.
trouble.
Oh no, even worse.
Yeah, because my wife actually does watch.
That's
Most of
fantastic.
the
She's
time.
supportive.
Yes, she is very much. Yeah, I'm loving this. I kind of got with the whole him going to school and running track and all. I got the Dash vibes from The Incredibles.
Oh, does he do that? I only saw the first Incredibles. I don't remember that.
Well, Dash wants to play sports, and they're like, no, you can't play sports. And then they finally
Right,
say,
it's not fair
all
to
right.
the regular people, right? Yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense. But I only was that in the first or the second one?
It was at the very end of the first because they're all cheering him on, and then he
I haven't
starts
seen
to
it
pull
since it
ahead
came
of
out.
everyone. And then as he pulls ahead of everyone, they're going, "Not too fast, not too
Too
fast."
fast. Make it close.
That's great. That's
And
great. I
everybody
don't
around
remember
his
that.
parents are like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
That's funny. But that makes perfect sense. I just I haven't seen that movie since it came out, and I never wound up seeing the sequel.
Oh,
So,
well, I'm a big Incredibles fan. I love both.
the first movie was fantastic.
It was.
It's done.
It was great.
It's done Fantastic Four better than any of the Fantastic Four films.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't
Especially
seen the
Fan
new
Four
one.
Stick.
It's a really low bar, but you know, you set the bar low enough, anybody's gonna be able to hurdle over it.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
what I said about going into the new Superman movie. I'm going to set the bar really, really low. And to be honest, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not horrible or anything. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie, but there's some missteps throughout it, and I still prefer Henry Cavill. That's a problem I can't get over.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill was a perfect casting.
Oh
He
my
definitely
gosh,
looked
he
the
was
part.
so good. He did.
He looked the part flawlessly.
Honestly, he's probably the best looking Superman, probably since Christopher Reeve. Honestly, the closest one other than that would be, oh gosh, what's his face from Smallville?
Tom Welling.
Yes, Tom Welling. Because I
happen
really,
to own all of Smallville on DVD, so
Do
I'm
you?
familiar.
Nice.
There's a little bit of to shift back to the topic at hand. I told you it wasn't going away.
So we're shifting.
There's when I was plotting out how I wanted to tell Zephyr stories. Now the zine short story is deliberately meant to be an early years introduction to the character and his supporting cast and all that. The bulk of the stories that I plan to tell are when he's an older young adult. So,
Okay.
18, and then have him move forward from there, do kind of the Peter Parker thing where it's like, all right, now he's spending actually a lot more time in college than we spent with him in high school, and all of that. And so I wanted to give just enough of the Smallville vibe into the stories, into at least the school aspect of it, because they layered it into the show and they certainly used it, but it was never, or very rarely, the entire focus of an episode. You'd have one-offs here and there where it would be, and that's helpful for, sometimes you don't want to always be way up here with how crazy things are going, because then you're going to burn out your audience, you're going to burn out yourself. Right. It's like you got to give some valleys along with those peaks, right, when you're doing your storytelling. And so I wanted to have just enough of that, as well as I didn't even realize this until it was pointed out to me that there's a little bit of a feeling of like the early old Ultimate Spider-Man vibe to it in terms of like spending a little more time in the school and all of that. And it's like, wow, that must have been subconscious because I didn't even think about that. And I happen to like, that was when Bendis was doing some good stuff, as opposed to his stuff at DC, which is an entirely different matter. But like his Ultimate Spider stuff was like really good early on. And though I'll always prefer 616, like there was some good stuff there, and it got a lot of people into comics early on because it was catered towards that younger readership, and that younger readership then didn't have to wade through these decades of continuity and stuff when at the time Marvel didn't have like a lot of great jumping on points, at least not at the time that Ultimate Spider-Man was coming out. And so that was a great spot for a lot of younger readers to get hooked. And I'm glad that comparison got drawn, because that, to me, I take that as a positive, because I'm like, okay, well, good, because exactly what I want is I want to draw in younger readers and newer readers where, like you guys mentioned earlier, they now have this gateway drug, right? That then later on down the line, maybe in a couple of years, now all of a sudden they're diving into Bloodruth and Yaira and Horseman and, and Isom and all this stuff. And then that just, that elevates the company as a whole. Sure. And I want to be able to contribute to that.
Well, I think he's you guys' first teenager, isn't he?
He is our first teenage hero. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. Which for me is special because I adore the Teen Titans.
Yes, you and me both.
Like I'm all about the Teen Titans and the Titans.
Who are the Teen Titans? I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Time for Steven to go.
We can kick him and just make it a two-man show, right?
Yeah, right. Them are fighting words, man.
Going back to two geeks on the microphone. So yeah. And he's out of here. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
So wait a minute. Does that mean we're gonna get a Rippaverse version of the Teen Titans?
He knows nothing. He can't say anything.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Right.
Oh,
Andrew, one of the compliments you got earlier on that I want to talk about was that they were saying you're a great storyteller. How did you what do you credit your storytelling abilities and how they came about? Just reading a lot of comics?
I probably look like a deer in the headlights, because that's honestly not a question I was ready for.
No,
you don't have to
you
apologize.
told him no gotcha questions, and
I did, and I got him. I was
it's maybe that's and the fans can either echo that sentiment or they can push back on it when they actually read Blue Shift tryouts. But I feel like I studied the art of storytelling in comics at a subconscious level for a really long time, and took notes in my head. Well, I like this. I like how they handled this. I don't like how they handled that. And that's not necessarily pertaining to one particular story or another, but rather overall narrative quality and pacing and things like that. I'd like to think that in the last couple of years, I've paid extra attention in a more proactive and active manner rather than a passive and subconscious one, because I've actually been working on Blue Shift. I think it was shortly before ISOM 2.
Oh, wow.
So I've been building out a lot of stuff with this character for a very long time. And it wasn't until this last, December or this January that I actually made my pitch to Eric. Because I've been building all this stuff. I wanted to have an actual, I didn't want to be like, hey, I've got this idea for a short story. And then cool, what after that though? Like if people actually like it. No, I've got to
show something for the work that you've done, not just an idea, but you've really fleshed it out.
Yeah, it wasn't a proof of concept thing. It was, I have a great number of stories that I've either already written or outlined, or at least started bullet pointing. For potential future arcs, should the fans respond in such a way where it's like, we want more of this, and Eric says, okay, well, there's enough people saying that they want more of this that I can justify saying, all right, Pigeon Boy, you can write more Blue Shift, right? And so I've been trying for the last couple of years to pay really careful attention, not just to our books and how fans were responding to them, but also as the social media manager and being involved in our Discord and things like that. I pay attention to a lot of the conversations that are being had, and it's funny. Like I was the meme of is it Charlie from Always Sunny, where he's pointing to the board, the chalkboard. He's got
Yes.
all the red yarn and everything.
Yeah.
Like complete psychopath. That was me in my pitch to Eric, because I had like all of these screenshots of fans like making comments of like things that they wanted to see in terms of like, we want to see some younger heroes. Maybe they can have like a coming of age tale, kind of like a younger Peter Parker, and all this sort of stuff. We'd love to see a speedster. And I'm like, that's hilarious, because it's exactly what I'm trying to do over here. So I was kind of like, hey, Eric, I'm doing this thing and people are asking for this thing that I'm doing. Can I do the thing?
Nice.
And there was maybe a little more to it than that, but that's kind of like a real too long didn't read version of that. And
no,
so,
I love that pitch right there.
People were asking for it. It's like, all right, let's give the people what they want, right? And we'll see how they respond as to whether or not I was the guy to do it. And not just our comics though, but also all the stuff that I'm reading, whether it's DC, Marvel, Image. Like, how are people responding to the stories that are being told right now? What sets the quality ones apart at the moment from the stuff that is just not doing well because people don't want to read it? What is that draw? What are people doing that's working? What are people doing that's not working? So that I can have like something to point to and be like, I can attempt something along these lines because this is something that people are responding positively to, as opposed to stuff over here. And then I can avoid that stuff over there. Right.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if I'm comfortable enough with saying like I'm a great storyteller. Hopefully people think I'm at least a good enough one where they want more Blue Shift.
Sure.
And I can just continue to grow and improve as a storyteller from there. Right. Because everybody started somewhere. Chuck Dixon started as a newbie at one point. Right. And, he was, still a million light years from where I'm at right now, but that's because he's Chuck Dixon. I'm also an unapologetic Chuck Dixon fanboy. I just want to put that out there. I grew up with all of his stuff at DC, so I have immense love for that man. And he's also far more humble and gracious than he has any business being, considering his body of work. But he's an awesome guy. He's a totally awesome guy. But I'd like to think that I at least was able to pay attention enough to where I could tell a story that was coherent. And that took some rewrites, that took some revisions, that took some coaching here and there. There was a lot of, that's a cool idea, but not quite yet, buddy. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's see what comes first, what comes before that. That's cool. We can get there, but what happens before that? And I credit a lot of that to Caro. Actually,
I was just going to ask, is Caro the one that told you to dial it back?
Yes, absolutely.
She mentioned that in a live stream that she had to tell some people to dial it back.
She was a fantastic mentor, and she's a tremendous writer. I love Dirty Deeds. I've read some of her other work as well, so I think she's a great mentor as a writer, and I think that she helped me a lot. And I like to consider myself someone who's receptive to critique, like positive critique. Like, I'm telling you this thing because I think the thing that you're doing could be better, not I'm telling you this thing because I don't like you.
Sure.
That's not helpful to me.
Sure.
Tell me that I think what you have here is something to play with, but let's like refine that. Let's make it better.
Yeah.
And here's how you do that. Yeah. And then you can improve from there. And Caro is very good about doing that and laying it out in such a way to where I can absorb that. And I've like tried to be a sponge of like the notes that she's given me over the last year or so, to where hopefully that shines through in the Blue Shift Tryout short story. People check that out through RippaZine number 5 and they say, well, this is actually like, this is a fairly tight and refined. This feels like a finished piece of work, right? This feels like something that was not half baked. This does not feel like it was something that was rushed. This feels like something that there was genuine thought and execution put into it.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I can tell you, Caro, it has been a pleasure to talk back and forth. Well, through email anyway,
Mhm.
and she's always been kind and helpful in getting me in touch with you guys. So we are very appreciative, Caro,
Yeah.
over here too.
Yes, very much so. I love, though, Andrew, your attitude specifically of teachability and really being open. I've always lived by a mantra, 1% better every day. So what else can I
Bingo.
learn? And I love that, how you phrase that, just in how you're learning, which makes me more excited for what's going to continue to happen with Blue Shift. I'm just saying.
I hope so. I hope so. God willing. I like to believe I'm very blessed and be grateful that I'm surrounded by so many creative people. I don't like the idea, and thankfully I never have to worry about this. I don't like the idea of being the smartest and most talented person in the room, which thankfully, again, I never have to worry about because that's not me. But I'm constantly surrounded on a daily basis by people who are incredible storytellers, whether it's on the writing side or on the visual storytelling side, or people who are just really adept at various facets of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you aren't surrounded by people who are better than you at something, you are never going to get better at that thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I ran track just like Eric did in, I don't have any school records or anything like Eric does in college, but I did run track in high school. And so I was not ever going to get faster by racing against people I already knew I could dust. I had to train against people who were better than me, right? People who were faster, people who were a little bit stronger, right? And follow similar workout regimens as them, right? In order to get better. That's the only way you can do that. You have to push yourself. You have to strain yourself. And so I look at creative growth in the same way. If you are surrounded by people who, maybe you're an artist, if you are surrounded by artists who are better than you, at least at something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're better at hands, or maybe they're better at different perspective, right? Whatever it is, you can gain something from that and you can grow in that facet of your creativity. And so I see writing the same way.
Nice.
Yeah. I love that. Here's a couple of folks. Well, she says, love how you're really humble, but she also added, speak it into existence. You're going to have a whole long line of Blue Shift. Just saying.
The only the fans.
That's my wife, by the way.
Oh, well, God bless you. hopefully the rest of the fan base agrees, and then hopefully Eric agrees as well.
Yeah.
Those are the two yeses that I need.
Nice.
Right on.
Thank you very much.
Even Sam notates, iron sharpens iron.
Bingo. Good one.
Bingo.
Excellent.
Bingo.
Yeah, very much. Man, I cannot believe it's already been an hour. Holy cow.
Has it really?
Yeah.
You didn't even think you could talk that long about yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're just making me out to be a liar.
Yeah.
No.
Oh gosh.
So I do have a couple questions, but I don't know if you're
Yeah,
going
fire
to
away.
answer these.
I'll do my best.
Right, but I don't know if they will be giving anything away in the future. So,
oh yeah, I loved how some people are calling you in the chat, Indy Andrew.
The fans, the fans have. I want to say it's a term of endearment, but maybe it's a term of irritation as well. It could be both.
That sounds nicer than Pigeon Boy, though.
I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But yeah, the ND Andrew thing just kind of came about naturally as a response from the fans when anytime, whether it was Eric or the Saskas or somebody else was streaming, and they would like start to teeter on the edge of saying something that would be giving something away, I would in all caps blast into the chat NDA, right? And so the fans just kind of rolled with it, and I decided, you know what, they're having fun with it, I may as well have fun with it too, right?
That's awesome.
Right. That's awesome. That is great. So just so you know, we're, again, everybody, we told him before the show, we're not kind of gotcha people or anything like that. We just wanted to be able to share, and he has the right to decline or not say anything because we don't want to get him in trouble. We're just so appreciative of having you on, and this has been a fantastic time. Thank you so much for being
thank you for having me. You guys let me into your home. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
We appreciate you showing
Your
up.
digital home.
Right. All right, Mike.
Okay.
Fire 'em
So
off.
first question. Have you come up with his nemesis yet?
I've come up with a whole rogues gallery for him.
Oh, wow. Well, you one
And in
up me
fact-
on that.
And maybe there's a teaser for some of those.
Nice.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, I have thought out quite a lot. I've thought out at least in detail the first 3 arcs of
cool.
his story.
Mhm.
So, and by 3 arcs, I mean, like, if we were to have 3 issues comprising an arc, and each of those issues is somewhere between 45 and 50 pages, which roughly comes out to not too dissimilar to a typical trade at Marvel or DC, which is like 6 issues, and they're, anywhere between like 23 and 26 pages a piece, right? So I've thought about 3 arcs in great detail for that, and then have started bullet pointing 4, 5, and 6 after that. But as far as like villains, oh yeah.
Dang,
nice.
Andrew's like the George Lucas of the Rippaverse.
Hopefully my dialogue is better than episode 2 and 3.
Good call.
I'm just saying at planning the stories out.
Yeah, if my dialogue is Star Wars episode 2 and 3 levels, then Caro has permission to smack me across the face with a herring or something. I don't know.
I'll still take episodes 2 and 3 over that last one.
I'll still take them over any of the sequels for sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
You'll get no argument from me. But yeah, no, I've thought up of an entire rogues gallery from him.
Nice.
Because he's my goal with Zephyr, my goal with Blue Shift was to have sort of our own Peter Parker analog.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about some of the visual inspiration that went into his design before, but in terms of him as a person, Zephyr as a character, the 2 main kind of makeups for his DNA, the 2 main ingredients are Spidey and Sonic. So there's a bit of that playful quippiness when he's dealing with foes,
Nice.
enough to irritate them, right? And try and keep them distracted. But also the one thing that I really love, and not enough heroes do this, and a lot of people, even Spider-Man fans, forget this, is that one of the main reasons why Peter does the quips and cracks all those jokes while he's fighting his foes is that he's not just trying to keep his enemies off balance, he's trying to keep himself centered. And a lot of people will be like, well, yeah, because he's actually scared out of his wits when he's doing that. And that's part of it. But the other part of it, which I want to lean into, is that he doesn't want to allow himself to give into the violence. Like he's hitting them just hard enough, right, to try and subdue them. He's not actually trying to like literally shatter their face, right?
Right.
He's meant to be a hero who has a heart of gold. And one of the underlying themes that will purvey throughout his stories is that you can have a heart of gold, you can have the best of intentions, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make the smartest decisions. Sometimes you're going to make dumb decisions out of the best of intentions, right? And so I want to play with that a lot if I get to tell more stories with Zephyr.
Nice.
I love these thematic elements you're bringing out. I mean, you can tell that you've put a lot of work, a lot of thought, a lot of really, it's like you said, some people are like, oh, I just have this idea. But man, you've like said, no, I have this idea. I have all these things. I've already done this work. I've already been like,
here's my corkboard that makes me look like a psychopath. And maybe I should be on a list. Right.
Right.
Well, I think I might have a new favorite character in the Rippaverse, and I haven't even read his first story yet.
Please let me know if that remains after you read the short story.
All right.
Or if it was the biggest letdown of your entire comic book career.
No, it's doubtful.
I doubt that. Okay. My other question, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to answer this, but I'm going to throw it out there. who would you like to see Blue Shift team up with for the first time?
Ooh, for the first time.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer that one because I don't know if that's going to.
No, I could, because that's more really of a personal preference thing. And, it's not like it's not
Okay.
something I've thought about. And, I'll give so for those who are not aware, in RippaZine number 5, there are 2 creator interviews. There's one by the Saskas with myself, and there's one by the Saskas with Edu, my interior artist for Blue Shift Tryout. So please check out the book and check out those interviews. Both Edu and I gave some very, I think, thoughtful and in-depth answers to the questions. That question is actually one of the questions. So I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to answer it with a different answer than what I give there. That way people can get more information and not feel like they're getting robbed. There are a lot of fun things when it comes to team ups, and team ups are actually a thing that I've thought of quite frequently when it comes to Blue Shift, because like I said before, he's meant to be kind of that Spider-Man analog where a lot of people like to see him interact with other characters because of the characterization that happens there, because of the personalities, and whether or not it's really jiving super well because the characters are on the same wavelength, or like they're oil and water because for whatever reason that other character can't stand Spidey, that kind of like odd couple thing where you got like Spidey and Logan, right, in their team ups, where it's like, man, they're actually very, very different people, but somehow the team ups work really well because of that odd couple aspect. So I think a super fun team up to have for Zephyr would be with a character like Horseman, because he is not shy about giving into the violence on any level. He's actually quite okay with it, on pretty much every possible facet. And so I like the idea of there being that like really, really opposite approach of things where, you could have a scenario where Zephyr is speeding around, he's speed blitzing some thugs or whatever. And, he's trying to measure his punches and making sure he's hitting them just hard enough to where they're incapacitated or they're knocked out, or maybe, he's made sure to sprain an ankle on them or whatever. So at least they can't get up, whatever. And then he turns around and Hector had just like blown the brains out of, a dozen or more guys. Like, what are you doing? You have to do that. It was entirely unnecessary. That's overkill.
Oh my God.
What are you doing? And Hector would just kind of be like, "You've got your methods, I've got mine."
Okay, right? You sold me. I want to see that. I want to see that too. That sounds great.
That'll be great.
Fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, one of our loyal listeners, Nobody for Anybody, who is our resident Rippaverse fan.
Oh, well, thank you.
He says he wants more pigeon story in the.
Want more pigeons? Well, so for those who are not aware, after we sent out, and people had RippaZine 3 in hand for I think a fair enough time, we sent out a customer exclusive kind of questionnaire that was pretty darn in depth, that asked very detailed, specific questions as to what our customers wanted more of in the RippaZines that were coming down the line and what they wanted to see less of. It's like, okay, what do you really like? What are you enjoying that's part of this? Where is the most value that you see in this? And what are some things where it's like, I like the idea of it, but I feel like there could be more value to it? Or what are some segments that maybe this is not a fan of, right? It's like, that's the thing that, if you're short on time, well, that's what I'm skipping because I don't really care, right? And so we are trying to respond just as a company as a whole, we're trying to operate in that manner. But with the RippaZine especially, we are trying to make that a very fan-focused thing. And so we took a lot of the feedback that the fans had with that RippaZine 3 survey to heart. And so one of the feedbacks that we had was in Zine 3, so I mentioned before, I have like a 1-page, pigeon strip called A Bird's Eye View, it's literally just through the perspective of a pigeon in Florist Park, Texas, and he's either seeing events that have happened in the books through his perspective, so it's literally a bird's eye view, right? Or we're seeing other things that he's involved with, right? Well, for the first 2 RippaZines, we did that. And then in the third RippaZine, we tried something else. We were like, how important is this pigeon deal really, right? We were all kind of like, I'm just over here like writing pigeon stuff, right? Like it's not the most groundbreaking stuff in the world. I'm not doing Calvin and Hobbes over here or anything, right? This isn't high art. This is pigeons, people. And so we tapered that down. So in Zine 3, it was actually just at the bottom of the page, and it was either 3 or 4 panels. So it was straight across, like more like a Sunday funny strip, right?
Gotcha.
And immediate feedback to that was, no, give me the full page back. And we were like, okay. So for RippaZine 4, we made it a full page again. And in RippaZine 5, it's a full page again. And
Nice.
I put even a poll in our Discord of like, what are you more interested in when it comes to these pigeon stories? Are you more interested in seeing events that have already occurred in our books through the eyes of the pigeon, which is what the first 2 were? Or would you like to see more just like original stories from the perspective of the pigeon, right? It's like he's doing his own thing now, instead of just maybe every now and then, he ends up like flying past where whoever so-and-so was interacting with so-and-so and from whatever book. But I presented that to the people in our Discord, and they've pretty overwhelmingly said that they prefer to have more original one-page short story strips with that. And I was like, okay. And I asked that question literally as I was sitting down to write the one for RippaZine 4, because I was like, I have a few ideas of which like events I could have the bird's eye view of, from our existing books. But what do the fans actually want right now? And so I just put up a poll in Discord, and I was like, what do you guys want? They had no idea that that's what I was doing at the moment, but I threw it out to them. And yeah, they said they wanted more original stuff. And I was like, cool. All right. I guess I got to sort out some original stuff right now.
Nice. Very nice.
Which is cool, because that allows me to exercise my creativity and have my brain work a little harder, right? Because now I have to create the scenario whole cloth, as opposed to being like, all right, I can just flip through Horseman, Welcome to Forest Park, or flip through Gooding, or flip through Bloodruth, and be like, all right, I'm going to use this scene, and I'm going to put a pigeon there, and it's going to make sense, and I'm going to make it work, right? So instead, no, I'm now making the entire scenario from scratch, which I actually like that more, because that, again, it's like acceptabilities are, as mentioned by Ingrid in Alpha Core 1, that it's like a muscle. It improves as you use it. Creativity, your creative muscle is no different than your physical muscles.
Exactly.
That's a good word.
So we need a bird's eye view of Zephyra running his track race.
I will say this. For those who know me as the pigeon guy, and I'm sure there are plenty, and who knows, maybe people are going to prefer to keep me as the pigeon guy after they read tryouts. We'll see. I do have very intentional, deliberate pigeon call-outs in the stories that I have written for Blue Shift.
Okay.
Like there's not like a ton of time spent on them. They're meant to be little kind of wink and nod moments where it's like, that works there. Had you like pushed it harder, it would feel weird and kind of like, that's kind of goofy. You didn't need to do that. Like, what are you doing? But it's just enough, at least I feel, to where it's like, I'm reminding you people, I do write the pigeons. Do not forget. I will never forget my roots or my nest. Is it my nest?
Nest. I like it.
My yoke is easy.
Well played.
The puns are with you.
Most of the time. My coworkers regularly want to throw things at me, so I think I'm on the right track.
Well, as long as they're not trying to shoot you like a pigeon.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I'll take throwing things at me. Blunt objects are fine. Explosives, not as much.
Not too much.
Right. Oh my
I would
gosh.
say this, it seemed like in the chat, some people were vying, some of your teammates were vying for who gets to be that first team up.
Mm.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
What are they fighting over?
When I get
Who do
back.
they got?
It's been going so fast, I can't keep up. So there is, here we go. Saska's will be a hilarious and likely short-lived team-up team. Zephyr and
Ooh.
Bloodruth.
Zephyr
say,
and Bloodruth.
I absolutely love Bloodruth.
Bloodruth is an amazing book. It is
it
incredible. I love it. Of the books that the Saskas have released with us so far, Bloodruth is my favorite. Like I'm not a horror guy, but I absolutely adore that book. From Sydney's characterization to the pacing of the story, that's a book where you can tell, man, the Saskas were just like they're like, all right, we're gonna strap in. We're home with this. This is our stuff. This is exactly where we live effortlessly, and they made it look effortless with that book.
Well, I loved Yaira 1, and I'm waiting for Yaira 2 and 3. They're supposed to be coming.
Excellent. Deborah,
I ordered them on Friday, so
Deborah kicked butt on 2 and 3.
Just so you know, I just ordered RippaZine 5. So
bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I get to work at least one more day over the
Yes.
but to their other question, it's funny. I actually had this back and forth with Caro at one point behind the scenes, talking about like our characters and everything, because I know what her plans are for Dirty Deeds if she gets greenlit for more on that.
Nice.
And I told her, say her name, and she appears. She's back in the chat.
Yeah, she had to take her dog for a walk. So
probably the youngest, the new puppy that Sheena has been adopted. But I told her, it'd be funny putting Zephyr in situations, even temporarily, with things like aliens, or to like what the twins were saying. What about demons? What do you think about demons? Like Zephyr, where his heart exists is he wants to help everyone and help wherever he can. However, he would be like, demons and aliens are someone else's department. That's really not my gig, guys. Like, have fun. See ya. Like, I'll help out maybe a little bit if I can, but like I'm not doing ghosts. I'm not doing.
He's still a young guy.
He is. But
right.
that kind of a thing would make those like one-off situations all the more fun, I think. Because you're putting him in uncomfortable positions. You're putting him where it's like, this is not his bread and butter. This is not his forte. Right. He doesn't deal with, like, he's trying to just like help out the local jewelry store from getting robbed by some goons, right? Or take out whoever villain I came up with, or whoever's running around Flores Park at the time. Demons and ghosts and other spirits of ill repute and aliens and things like that, he'd be pretty wide-eyed and be like,
right,
I remember signing up for this. Like, I feel like there's some fine print in the contract that I totally did not write or sign that says I don't deal with these things, somebody else's problem.
I could imagine Isom being a straight man at some point.
That would be funny. That would be genuinely hilarious, because Eric obviously is also a big Speedster fan. His favorite character used to be the Flash before it eventually became Batman, but like he's got an affinity for that type of a character as well. So who knows? The possibilities are endless should the fans request more.
Eric's got good taste. Batman and Flash are two of my all-time favorites.
It's hard to go wrong with those guys, honestly. I can count on one hand the number of people I've met in my life who say they do not like Batman, but they do exist. I think they're weird and wrong, but they do exist.
I love Batman. Batman and Spider-Man. Those were my two that I started with.
Excellent taste.
Yes.
Excellent taste.
Yeah. Loved them.
And I'm a big Deathstroke fan too. So.
Yeah. Oh, you like Slade? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Slade Wilson.
Yes.
Slade, who is a Teen Titans villain.
Yes, he is.
That's
Again,
correct.
My first comic that I bought, New Teen Titans, and leads right into Slade Wilson, who is the original. He's the one that they ripped Deadpool off of.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, when
probably gonna make the Soska sisters mad saying that.
Well, they're aware, I'm sure, but Deadpool.
I know they're Deadpool fans too.
Oh, they're massive Deadpool fans.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when Wade was first created, he actually, aside from his costume having different patterning, and coloration, like he acted not too different from Deathstroke the Terminator. Actually, he was very serious. He was just there as an assassin to take down Cable. And you know the rest of the New Mutants, and you know he was like, all right, well this is clearly, you know, Marvel and DC doing what Marvel and DC have been doing for decades, which is like, oh, we kind of like that idea. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna reskin it, we're gonna do our version of that, right? And then like that was fine, and that worked for that character, and they've done that with a zillion characters over the publishing history. But along the way, Deadpool evolved, or maybe if you ask some people, devolved, at least mentally, into the wisecracking, fourth wall breaking nemesis mercenary that he is today. And you know, that's when that's when he really caught on, because then he wasn't just like, he wasn't Marvel's Deathstroke at that point. Right.
Yeah. He's quite different from Deathstroke.
Very.
Yeah, they're barely the same character anymore, other than the name. I mean, Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson. Come on,
it's like you guys like weren't even trying to be cute about it,
right?
Not in the least.
Which is fine. Like Marvel and DC have done that again. Like I said, for decades, they have characters who, like, at least part of their costumes look similar, or almost the whole thing looks similar. Like people, I know a lot of people don't read comic books like that, but take Inertia over at DC, who is Impulse's own kind of Reverse Flash character. You're probably going to have to Google him, people, because you've never heard of him. Most people haven't, because a lot of people don't read comic books like that. But take him and his design. He's got the goggles. He's got a green and black, like, one-piece bodysuit as a speedster. And he's got the open hair, right? And then you look at Speed, Quicksilver's nephew, over at Marvel. He's got the open hair. He's got the goggles. And he's got green and silver one-piece bodysuit. It's like the design is like a 0.9 to 1, guys.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I mean, most people though don't like look at that and like throw a hissy fit or anything. They're just like, well, Marvel and DC are doing Marvel and DC stuff, right? Like, well, they did that again. All right, yeah, that's fine.
Well, I do tend to throw it out to Deathstroke fans, or I mean to Deadpool fans, that, you know, Deadpool was ripped off of Deathstroke.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And some Deadpool fans get offended by that, and including my daughter.
But I personally
know your roots.
Yes, Deathstroke is much more better. I'm just saying.
Cheers.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Cheers.
I was already about to take a sip. That's fine.
Right. We got to
yes, and I have a few Deathstroke action figures
stuff. So
I can't reach one of them, but anyway. Yes.
So Andrew, if there's anything that you want, like any of the fans to know, or anything particular you want to, you know, any insights, or how shall I say this? We want to be able to support you. And we want to be able to support just what you're doing. We're so excited for you, just with this character.
I just did. I gave him another day at work.
Right?
He did. Like, Hero doesn't have to yell at me tomorrow morning when I get into the office and being like, "You can leave now. Please don't come back."
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says Deathstroke is great, but I still prefer Deadpool. Yeah, you can, but you can be wrong too.
People can like both things. It's the same idea as, like, you can be a fan of DC Comics and Marvel Comics. You don't have to choose.
It's like the meme. Why not both?
Yeah, why not both? Is it too much to ask for both? It is not. Right. You can like both. In fact, my goal would be for people who do still find books in Marvel and DC and Image and whoever else and whatever indies else are out there that they love and they frequent and they look forward to the next entry of every single week or every single month, that at least one of our titles of the Rippaverse becomes part of that list, whether it's Blue Shift, whether it's Dirty Deeds, whether it's Bloodruth, whether it's Isom, whether it's Horseman, whatever it is. Like, if you consider even 1 or 2 of our books worthy of your time and your money, you know, as part of your comic book hobbying experience, like
Yeah.
that's a win.
Carlo
Yeah.
has
Okay.
Carlo has a question for you, Andrew. Have you tried getting a website?
Carol, you know that yes, I have, and that I'm working on it, kind of, very slowly. She's been hounding about like me making a website for the better part of like a year and a half, honestly. And so I've been like, there was about a week, maybe 2 weeks where I like went really hard in the paint of getting like a lot of things ready. And I ran into one hiccup that annoyed me so utterly that I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now.
Right.
He says it's a 3-year discussion.
Something like that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's correct.
That's awesome.
But as far as things that, you know, people could do to support me, to support the incredible creatives that I work alongside. You know, check out, we're almost sold out entirely, collectors and standard, of RippaZine 4.
Okay.
Which the Saskas had their first, like, that's special because the Saskas are obviously writing Yaira, they're in charge of writing Bloodruth, but those are characters that Eric created. They've created a ton of characters and world building within those characters' worlds and within their titles.
Okay.
But Catch and Kill, which is the short story that they wrote for RippaZine number 4, those are their babies. That's their like first original title at the Rippaverse, where it's wholly characters that they created. So that's something really special. And I think the story, when people get their hands on it, is going to really surprise them.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it's going to be kind of one of those flew under the radar sleeper hits, because they exercise like a different part of their creativity for it. It's completely different than all the other stuff that they've written for us, which really shocked me. I was like, I was expecting one thing, and it was something completely different, and I couldn't have been happier. So I would encourage people to, while you still can, get a copy of RippaZine number 4 so you can read Catch and Kill.
Okay. Beyond
that, demand more dirty deeds in any live chat that you go into that deals with the Rippaverse. I am like the lead dirty deeds disciple. Okay, I'm like number 2. I do lose out to Kara's husband. That's fair. That's fine.
Now let's
I can't be angry about that.
Let's clarify that Kara's husband is.
He is the lead dirty deeds disciple for sure. Okay. I'm like second there. I'm like second. I'm like, man, like, you're her husband, so you win. But like, I am pushing hard for this, right?
Oh, gosh.
So demand more dirty deeds in any chat that you're in that deals with the Rippaverse. But I would genuinely and sincerely support and appreciate people checking out RippaZine number 5. And please let me know what you think of Blue Shift tryouts. I
definitely will.
Andrew, what's
please,
the best
please do.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you or to let you know their opinions? And
they can tag me on social media. So I'm Documandrew on Twitter, on X. You can find me. I do every Sunday evening stream on my Twitch channel, which is Caffeinated Wolf. I stream Mario Kart with friends in my Discord every Sunday, just as kind of like an end of the weekend, like going into the week. Let's all just kind of like kick back and relax for a couple hours and yell at each other over Mario Kart and Mario Party, and just have some fun before we move into our work weeks. It's just like a fun thing that I've been doing with my community for the better part of like the last 5 years. But they can also email me, Andrew@Rippaverse.com. Like, when you guys read it, please like reach out. Like, if maybe you don't feel like paying for Twitter Premium or whatever the heck it's called right now, and you want more than 50 characters to work with as a response to something, like, email me and be like, hey, I really liked this and this, or I couldn't stand any of this. Stop, go back to writing pigeons. Whatever that feedback is, let me know, please.
Oh gosh.
Yes, Kara does sometimes show up on Sundays to taunt me. It is accurate.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
Now
rude.
please tell me that, and Carol can comment in the comments if she wants. Please tell me, Carol, that you are a AC/DC fan with the Dirty Deeds title. You have to be. You've got to be.
How many times have you heard that one?
Oh, I'm sure she's never heard that even once before. Definitely a lie. She has many times.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
It's a great song.
AC/DC. Who isn't a fan of AC/DC though? Okay, but here's favorite AC/DC song.
Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, I love For Those About to Rock. I love Back in Black. I love Dirty Deeds. I mean, gosh, that is a tough question, man.
I know.
And you want me
So
to
for
nail
me,
it down to one?
yeah, nailing your top 3 is fine. That's good enough. I'll give you that. You guys let me into your digital room tonight. You can give me top 3.
And I can't forget Thunderstruck.
Okay, yeah. So for me, it's
Thunderstruck is what the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders come into every week. So.
That's a good reason. Shoot to Thrill, Thunderstruck, Highway to Hell.
Oh, all of them great songs, man. I love me some AC/DC.
I am blessed to have grown up with a father who listened to a lot of great music. So I consider myself to have pretty decent musical taste for my age.
Well, you listen to AC/DC, so yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, biggest thing, everybody, if you heard it from here, go to Rippaverse.com right now. Go to the store. Get RippaZine 5. Get number 4 while you're at it.
Get caught up on 3 and 4 if you haven't already.
I have to. That's where I got to get caught up. So
do it. People have been. I know I was talking a lot of noise because I'm a huge Dirty Deeds proponent, but people had been demanding a lot more of Dirty Deeds from Caro. So please pick up Zine 3 and then demand more Dirty Deeds.
Okay, so Jen and Sylvie, I don't know which one commented this, but said, I love Thunderstruck. I once saw a Thor cosplayer stripped to that.
Oh, it's nothing to do with my love for that song. I'm not going to out them, but I think I know who wrote that.
Well, I know it's one of 2. So.
It's one of 2. Yeah, so you got a 50-50, you know.
Right. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yep, I'm adding it all right now. Just saying.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Just for the record, it's the collector's edition that's available for number 4.
Yeah, that's all that's left.
Yep.
That's correct, actually.
Get it while you can.
We have less than 50 of those left.
Oh, okay. Nothing like scarcity. That's got me going. All right, everybody hurry up.
Move faster.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I know what
Cheers to that one.
Cheers. That was good.
Oh.
Yeah. Sprint to the checkout line.
That's right. That's exactly what's happening.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, my goodness. That is funny. Well, Andrew, it has been a pleasure to have you with us tonight.
It's been a joy to have to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
And I'll say it right now, after it comes out, we would be glad to have you back.
I would absolutely love to be back. If you liked it enough to where you want to actually talk with me about the story, or if you hated it enough to where you want to yell at me for how bad it was, either way, I will sit here with as much grace as I can muster and have a conversation with you guys.
That's
we want you to start writing more pigeons.
Right.
Maybe that's all you want.
I will say this. I got to get my cheeks a rest because I've been smiling and laughing so much. This has been great.
I'm glad you guys had a good time. I had a fantastic one myself.
Yeah.
And I will also throw this out. Any of the Rippaverse personalities are welcome on the show.
Oh yeah, anytime. I get the volunteer because she's in the chat. She decided to show up. Hey, Caro, you should come on and talk Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like it. Yes.
My mother, who is a smart woman, once said, "Don't get angry, get even."
Well, you shouldn't get angry anyway. You were great.
I had a blast. I had
We loved
absolute blast.
having you, so it was fabulous. And
Yeah.
and I thank Caro for suggesting, because I initially reached out to her and I said, hey, can we get Eric on? Because I would love to talk about the new character. And she was the one that said, well, Andrew Rodriguez is the one who wrote him. Would you rather have him? I said, okay, great. Start getting me connected with Andrew. And then I still want Eric back on.
Yeah. Well, Carol and I will co-bully Eric.
There we go.
Back on for you.
I would appreciate it. And while you're at it, bully around the Saska sisters too.
Yeah, we'll bully the Saskas as well.
Could you imagine
it'll actually be even at that point because it'll be 2-on-2.
There
right?
you go. Hey.
But what if we get everybody at the same time? That would be nuts.
That's a recipe for like absolute bedlam. And now I have to watch not only Eric, but the Saskas and Caro, because she'll lean into it just to give me gray hair. And I'm not convinced that I'd be a silver fox. All of them would be trying to break NDAs simultaneously.
It's going to take you some time to catch up with me. So don't worry about that.
Oh, gosh.
That's a lot. That
funny.
sounds like a lot, but I'd totally be here for it.
Yeah. You guys have been great. It's been fantastic having you. And even when we had Eric, it was a great show, even with him. And that was even more than just Rippaverse. It was more, you even got talked about leadership, what that meant, and how it was just fantastic. It was just a great discussion. And so we just look forward to you guys, and we're trying to support you guys as best as we possibly can, because we just love the Rippaverse and all that the Rippaverse means for us as fans, even that it is for the fans, and the continuity within the stories. It's just been a great ride. So Andrew, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you to everybody who showed up in the chat, whether you're on the Rippaverse team or your regular viewers of Two Geeks and a Microphone. Like, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it has been great. It has been fabulous. Well, normally everybody, as we close the show, we just sit here and just say, make sure you check out our website. That would be www.twogeeksmic.com. That's the number 2 GEEKSMIC.com. If you want to reach out and ask us any questions, Mike does a great job of checking the emails, and that would be show@twogeeksmic.com. We always appreciate everybody's advice or ideas. We have a lot of fun with that. And so, Mike, is there anything else you want to chit chat about?
Just that if you've made it this far, please make sure and go and like and subscribe to us on all the socials. We are active on Facebook and now Instagram. It only took me all this time.
That's better than I can claim. I hardly ever touch my Instagram.
Yeah, I said that too.
I don't know how it works. I know how to open the app, and that's about as far as I've gotten so far.
I barely know how it works. Luckily, we got a system that'll post to both Facebook and Instagram, so it just mirrors my posts. But we finally jumped into Instagram. So, and I'm trying to build that up. So please make sure and go and like and subscribe on us there.
I will follow. Is it just Two Geeks and a Microphone on Instagram? Is that what it is?
On Instagram, it's Two Geeks Mic. MIC. So yeah, I have to precipice that because I said that to somebody at work and he thought it was Mike, like my name Mike, and I said no,
yeah,
Mike, like
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's a follow. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But anyway, we try to share any information about the show, some funny memes, that kind of thing. And every time we go live, speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We will deviate from that on the end of the month, but we'll give more information on that Saturday morning. Okay. And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and unfortunately not Rumble right now because I forgot to set up.
We'll repost on Rumble.
Yeah, I'll repost on Rumble. So sorry to our Rumble followers, but I will get this up there.
So you're also on Twitch. Okay, I'll follow you there as well.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. I think that's all I got. Anything else, Steven?
That's all I got.
All right. With that said, please do not skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest. Cheers.
One last drink.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be with you.